Welcome to my zone online school. My name is Mr. Litwai Dumi, and welcome to my class. And my friend, we are grade 6 and 7 mathematics. And before we start with our lesson, let us remember to wear mask and sanitize our hands. You spray your hands, wipe it through your hands, in between fingers, let it dry. And let us remember to keep our social distance, stretch out the sides and also in front. Today's lesson is on whole numbers. Okay, let us now go to page 12, where the mathematic notes have started. We start with whole numbers, and then we also need to know the terminologies that we are mostly going to use in this lesson. The first one is the place value, and the definition of that is the position of a number, usually written in words. The value, how much a digit is worth in a number, is usually written in a number form. The value should be written in a number form. Expanded notation, writing values of each digit in a number. Those are the terminologies, so we have to go one by one, breaking them down. Place values. We use the base 10 number system, meaning from 0 to 9. You can see the number which are listed there. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If you look at the first picture which is indicated there, the diagram, you can see that is an abacus, whereby at the bottom there are place values starting from the left, from the right to the left. I'll repeat that again. Starting from right to left. We have unit, we have tens, we have hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s. And they are also written in capital letters or in abbreviations. But take note of H. H at thousands, which is written in small letters. That is how you have to write them. You can write them in full, or you can also write them in such way, but make sure it is exactly like that. The circles which are shaded indicate the number per that place or that position. There is 9 added to 1, which gives 10. It's just an explanation on that abacus, but I will do that on the chalkboard in a few minutes. The second abacus, the explanation which is given there is, when another unit is added, we now have 10 units. This means it cannot fit in the unit column or in the units column. So I have to move into the tens column. We now have one counter in the tens column and none in the units column. Each place value column is 10 times bigger than the previous. Now going back to that diagram, the second one, which is almost the repetition of what is up. 9 added to 1, it gives 10. But the last statement mentioned or states that if you move from the right to the left, as you move from unit to tens, you have to multiply by 10. We'll explain that also on the chalkboard. Now we can move to page 13. The third abacus on our notes, it is explained as, so this number is written in words, would be written as it follows. There is 830164, and that, to write it in words, is 830,164. 830,164. So that is how you write it in words. Numbers are grouped together in groups of 3. They are read that way too. The word 1,000 is read in the space. Now if our third terminology is expanded notation, and if you have to write that number in expanded notation, you take a digit, for example 8 in the place of 100,000, you multiply that with 100,000. You take 3 in the place of 10,000, you multiply with 10,000. 0 in the place of 1,000. So 0, the value of 0 is 0. So even if you multiply 0 times 1,000, you get 0. That's why there's a cross there, for you to make sure and know that we do not write that. We have 1 in a position of 100, you multiply with 100. We have 6 in position of tens, you have to multiply with 10. We have 4 in position of a unit, and the unit in other terms is ones. This has no value, so we cannot write it. We mean the 0. 0 times 1,000, then you get a 0. There is no reason to write that 0. Another example is also written there, which is 3 times 100,000, 1 times 10,000, 9 times 1,000, 4 times 100, 7 times 10, 2 times 1, giving 319,472. Let's try some more example together. We have 34,623. If you have to expand that, you can do it exactly how it's shown on that slide, and then your final answer should be 30,000 plus 4,000 plus 600 plus 20 plus 3. The hundreds are 100 times bigger than the units. The thousands are 1,000 times bigger than the units. Okay, to start with a practical activity here, I would like to explain about the abacus. I have prepared one here, which is, I prepared it yesterday. Of course, you can do yours at home. Use whatever material you have and come up with something of that nature for you to understand this much and much better. So if you look at this abacus, I have the straws here, which are there to stand in position of place values. We have got a unit here, and then we have a tens, we have 100, and the list goes. The leads are there to assist us to know how many digits that the weight, how many values per place value. So if you look at the first unit, if I ask what digit can be explained there or mentioned there at the unit, you can see that there is 3 at the unit, there is 2 at the tens, so and the list goes. So you can make yours and practice as much as you can for you to understand. So do that and at least show to your teacher what you have done during this learning of e-learning. Thank you. Now we have to move to the chalkboard. Coming to the chalkboard, the number you can see here is 34,623. So this is the number which appeared on that abacus we were just showing now. And if we are to put this number on an abacus which is drawn, remember you can write it this way, that a 3 start always with a unit. You go to the tens, the number that represent a tens, which is a 2. We have a 6, we have a 4, and we have a 3. Now, in that manner, you will be able to understand or know what you can circle per place value. For example, the unit, we have 3, so in that manner you can circle 3, 1, 2, 3. And for tens, we can say is 2. For 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Now if you look at the place values, are they indicated at the bottom? And the values are represented as per place value. In the unit we are having 3, and the list goes. Now, that question can come. What is the place value, for example, of 6? The place value for 6, where that 6 is, what position, in simple English we say, what position is 6? So the place value for 6, it will be 100. You can write it as 100, abbreviated, or you can write it as hundreds, like that. The second one, we can also ask what value of that underlined digit. What is the value of 6? The value of 6, we get the value in this manner. You take 6, you multiply with the place value of 6. 6 is in position of 100. Now you have to multiply 6 times 100 to give you 600. So the value of 6 is 600. That is the answer. And if I have to ask the expanded notation, the expanded notation cannot be asked in such a way that of an underlined digit. No. An expanded notation will require all the numbers that we have to use here. All the digits in the number 34,623 in an expanded notation, we get it how? 3 in position of the unit, you multiply with 1. 2 in position of tens, you multiply with 10. 6 in position of 100, we multiply with 100. 4 in position of 1,000, we multiply with 1,000. And 3 in a position of 10,000, we multiply with 10,000. But when you give your answer, it must be done this way. You say equal, an expanded notation of this number. Say, I'll just repeat the number, 34,623. It must give me, just take this out. I need to take this out. It must give me, we use bracket to separate the operations. So we have 3 times 10,000, and then we have to separate that with plus. You understand the reason of this addition later. 4 times 1,000 plus 6 times 100 plus 2 times 10 plus 3 times 1. We have our 34,623. If you multiply these, you get 30,000. If you multiply these, 4 times 1,000, you get 4,000. And this addition is coming there, 4,000. And if you multiply 6 times 100, it will be 600. 2 times 10, it will be 20. And 3 times 1 must give you 3. Now, this is the expanded notation. Another word for notation is called form. Is form. So this is the expanded notation. In simple terms, an expanded notation is to make this number as huge, as large as it is, separated with addition in betweens. Why do we separate with addition? Because if we add all these numbers together, they will give us this number. We can also try it. I'll take the first number, which is 30,000. 30,000. I'll take 4,000. Let us add in a vertical way. It is called standard logarithm. 600. I add 20. And I add 3. I have a line. And I have my addition here. If you add all these numbers, I'll get a 3. If you add all these numbers, I'll get a 2. I'll get a 6. I'll get a 4. And I'll get a 3. If I did not forget that equal. So at the end, this addition is also, you can also say it's between 30,000 plus 4,000 plus 600, and it must give you. So this still come back to that. So this is the expanded notation, and this is a number which is written as a single. Now, to recap the 3 terminologies, we need to understand that the place value, when they ask you for the place value, we either write a word or an abbreviation. Place value of 2, you can say is 10. it is tens. Of 3 is unit. Of 4 is thousand, and it goes. The values is a digit multiplied by its place value in numeric form. If I have H for hundreds, this is the same as 100. This is just written in words or in abbreviation, and that is in numeric. So in some exams, you may be asked and you find they did not use 100 as a word, but they use it as a number, as numeric. So there is no difference. That is just the same thing. That is the value. You take a digit, you multiply with the place value, and then you get your value. Expanded notation, you take a number, and then you make it large in such a way that we have addition in the middle. Addition in the middle. That will also prove to you that you can still come back to the same number. You can also try this number here. First of all, we have 243. 243. You need to know how to write this in words. I don't know what it is. You can try it in a minute. We have 13 here. You can also try it to write it in words. And we have 9. You need to know also how to write 9. That is just for you to know how to write the numbers in words. Now, you can also test yourself. Place values. What is the place value of 2 in this number? What is the place value of 4 in this number? What is the place value of 3 in this number? Yet you continue the values. What is the value of 2 in this number? What is the value of 4? And what is the value of 3? And you need to expand. How do you expand this number? So you can try that at home, and it will help you, of course, to know and understand these 3 concepts much better. Okay, let us now do the activity 1 on page 13. So we start with number 1. You need to draw a solid line to match the numbers with the words. So what you have to do is, you have to read the words and then look at the digits or the numbers to see which one correspond with that statement. So you start with the word, you read it, and you check at the numbers and see which one is corresponding. You just draw a line to connect or to match the two. I hope that is very easy. So you can try that one. And then we proceed to page 14, where number 2 is there. So there are abacus which are drawn. So what you have to do is, you must color in the circles to make the following numbers. The numbers are written at the bottom of each abacus. All you have to do is just to color. Number 3, write the following in numerals. Here numbers are not written. All you have to do is, you can write them down below the place values, and then you have to write them nicely on the line. You can use a pencil first and then write them on the line nicely with a pen. You have to look at the unit, how many shaded circles are there. Then you have to write your digit as a unit. You go to the tenth and so on and so on. I think that's also easy. Number 4, you need to fill in the place value chart. The first one has been done for you. If you look at the first one, is 829. 9 will be in the place of units, 2 will be in the place of tens, and 8 in place of hundreds. So you can do the rest in that table. It is easy. Remember to start at the unit. Remember to start from right to left. Number 5, fill in the numbers in the spaces. So this is now expanded notation. What we are testing here is expanded notation. There are spaces where I left for you to fill in. If you have to expand 2962, so you have to start with 2000 plus I don't know what is that. You have to put it yourself, and then plus 2. So you can also do that. I think it's very easy to do. Number 6 is for you to give the place value of the underlined digit, the digit which is underlined. A to C, you can see in A, 2 is underlined. B, we have 6, and C, we have 2. So remember, put your place values with a pencil for you to know exactly which place is 2, 6, and 2. You can also do that. It's very easy. And the extended work is for you to practice more and more. And if we go to number 7, we say 4 says 2, 6, 8, 4 written in expanded notation is 2000 plus 600 plus 84. Is it correct? Here I only need yes or no. Yes or no. Number 8, look at this number, 395. Why can't we expand it as 3 plus 9 plus 5? Why are we not expanding it in that way? Could you please give me a reason? So you have to explain. If the space is small, write and continue below the line. And make sure you first have to think and go through your work and see where is the wrong. So where you find here is supposed to be like this, then that is what you have to give as a reason. The last one, what is the point of 0 in the middle of this number, 9024? It has no value, so why don't we leave it out? Why don't we leave it out? So you have to give a reason there. So number 8 and 9, you have to reason. So yet, you have to go through what I have said and you pick up the reason. Why are we not living